Hey everyone, and happy Friday. It's Patty from pspapercrafts, and I have another fun fold video for you. Today we are going to make a double fan fold card. So this is the card. I don't know who, I never know who to thank because there's a lot of videos out there and I try to look at them all and get you the best tips on how to make them. So I really looked at Brenda Quintana and Lisa Curcio. They had videos, and I looked at others, but they seem to have the, I guess, the best tips on how to make it. So isn't this pretty? It opens like this, and you can put a back on it, so it stands up. You can't really see it, but it stands up nicely. I think it's pretty cool. So with this card, I used the Cheerful Daisies stamp set for the sentiment and the stems, and then I die cut. These are the Cheerful Daisy dies that go with it, and I like this one. It looks like a cone flower to me, so I die cut it, just this portion, 3 times, and then I used a little copper clay and a sponge dauber just to hit the ends with it. And then I added some pretty butterflies. I love the butterflies, so I use them a lot. I just used them in my last card class. And then the paper is the Fresh as a Daisy designer series paper. So there's lots of choices here. I kind of think it would be better to have just a small pattern. The next card we're going to make is going to, I tried to keep the pieces together so it would look like, you know, a pattern, but I think it's nice with a tiny pattern, and that's what we're going to use next. But isn't that pretty? I love it. So let's put this aside and let's get started on today's card. So I am going to be using the zinnia paper. This, what is it? Simply Zinnia? That's this flowering zinnia. The stamp set is Simply Zinnia. And I love this. I just, this was what my card class was, and I just mailed them out. So this has some really, this is the pattern we're going to use. As I said, I think a small pattern, and then we're going to use this on the front. And this is pretty cool because you just cut it in half. This is the half of it, and you could just cut it down into a card front. So let's get started. I am going to use one of my favorite colors, Blackberry Bliss, and I have my pieces partly cut. So this is going to be the front, and I'll have all the measurements. If you look in the YouTube video, below the YouTube video, there's, you know, a little description, some, you know, products I used, or just a little kind of blurb about it. And then below that, there's links, and one of them says project sheet. And you can go there and click there, and I'll have something that you could print out with measurements, instructions, pictures, the whole 9 yards. Don't worry about keeping track of it. So we have 2 of these. This is the back. So this piece, this one I did white. This one we're going to do this color. So it's that color. Sorry about the dog. I don't know. There's something going on here because he keeps barking. I'll turn it off if he continues. So this is my Blackberry Bliss. It's a full sheet, and we want to cut it down to 5.5 by 8 1/4. So it's 8.5 now. So we're going to go, I'm going to do the 5.5 and leave it full because I'll have another card base. I don't want to cut that part off yet. So I'm going to put this aside. This is a full card base for another card, and then I'm just going to cut this. You can either cut 1/4 off, or you can go out and go to 8 1/4. So we're just going to cut this out. We're going to do a lot with our trimmer. If you have the Simply Score tool, you can use that as well. And I saw Lisa Curcio, that's what she used, and I find the trimmer to be a little bit better with this card, but I'll tell you what you can do with the or the Simply Scoreboard. I think I'm calling it the wrong thing, but we'll get there. So that is our 5.5 by 8 1/4 piece. That's our card base. We're going to move our cutting tool up, and we're going to use our scoring. So we are going to score at 1 3/8. So 1 and 1 2 3/8. And then 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and then you can either pull your arm out and I'll do that, or you can flip it over and do the same thing on this side if you wanted to. It's the same on both sides, but we'll keep going out. So this is 5.5. And then 6 7/8. So that's the 8th right before you hit 7. There's 16 lines in here. There's, you know, quarters, halves, eighths, 16. So it's the 8th line before you hit 7. Okay, and then we have this done. Now we're going to score it from this fold line to this point. Okay. And you're just going to lay it down and line up your fold, the edge of your fold line to the point. Because we want to make an X, and we're going to do the same thing this way. We're going to do this fold line or score line to the point. And then we're going to do the same exact thing on this side. So we're going to have 2 X's. Okay, and then one more, so this to the point. And I like to go, I don't like to start at the point when I cut or when I score, because I think sometimes it will, you know, bend it a little bit. So if you have the score pad, I forget what it's called, the Simply Score tool. The other thing you can do, what I saw Lisa do was, and I'm leaving this out for a reason, she marked a black line down here so it was visible, and then she used that as a guide to make sure you're like at the 6. It's hard when you're down here to see if you're in the right place. So if you put a line down the middle of this, then you have a guide to put your point in, and then the bottom part. It's just hard to know where it is. Everything looks the same. So that was what she did. So she did all her scoring on this, and I thought that was a good tip to use if you didn't have this, but I just find this to be easier. So we're going to close this up, and then we're going to put this aside, and we'll do our folding. So we're going to just fold it and burnish it. So you're going to have lots of folds, and I found it easier to just fold it like these 2 long pieces, and then we'll get to the triangle parts. Okay, and I think it's easy if you just fold it in like this just with your hands. So you want to have all these folds done. And once you fold it, you can burnish it. I think it would make it easier to line everything up and get it all squared away. And then you're going to do the same thing here. So you're just going to look for that fold line, and it should fold easily. Fold it, burnish it, and then do the same thing here. Okay? So now I feel like I'm doing origami, like I'm making a bird or something. That's what I felt like when I was making this. So now you're going to kind of pinch this. It will work for you because you have it all folded. So you're going to come like this. No, you're not going to come like that. Let's do this again. So this is going to go this way. Come on. There we go. You want to pinch it, and it will look like this. So you'll have these little flaps here. I'm trying to get it right. That's how it's supposed to look. Oh boy. Okay. So you're going to fold it this way, and then you're going to pinch these up. And I think I had folded it backwards before. But once you have it folded, you're good. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It looks kind of funny. You've got these little wings on it. Okay, but that's how it's going to go. And then we're going to decorate all of this. Okay, I hope that made sense. I think I flipped it the wrong way to begin with, but I think it all worked out. So once you do your scoring and folding, you can fold it whichever way you want. So, oop, I just hit the camera. Now we're going to take these two strips, okay? And these are 2 1/4 by 5. And we are going to, and I'll tell you a different way to do this if you don't like this way. And it depends on how dark your paper is, whether it's easy to see the score lines. But we're going to go out to, we're going to cut it, we're going to score it in half. So this is 2 1/4. So we're going to go to 1 1/8. And we are going to score it up and down. And then we're going to, and you could do the same thing on that score board if you don't have this tool, and use that number, you know, the 6-inch line. And so I'm going to just pick it up and go, so I'm not going corner to corner. I want to start it not in the corner. And then we're going to go here. So we're just making like an X. Okay, and we're going to start kind of in the middle and go back and forth. Okay, and it's hard to see. Now, what I saw Lisa Curcio do was she turned it over and she drew lines on the back with pencil, and then she cut it with her scissor. I find this to be easy, and actually it's easier to see in the back, so we could cut it. And I'll tell you that the reason I scored it was once you start cutting it, you kind of lose visibility of what you're cutting. So if you have the score lines or a pencil line, it just makes it easier to do the cutting. So we're going to cut these pieces. I'm going to keep them in order. Okay, so I'm doing it from the back because I could see it better. And again, I like to start, oops, I like to start in the middle if I'm going from a corner. So let's try to get this set right. Close this down. Okay, so now I can just keep going with this. It's a little bit, I hope you can see it. I can see it. It's a little bit hard if you didn't do that scoring first. You wouldn't know where to cut. And I'm going to try to keep it in order as best I can. Now it's upside down, so that might be a little difficult, but we'll get there. So we're just going to cut all of the score lines. Okay, so I'm going to do this, put it over here, and we'll just lay it out so we know where to put it. Now, it doesn't matter on the tiny print if it's in the right order, but I think it just makes it a little bit smoother on the eye. Okay, and we're going to just cut this, and we're going to build our little pattern there. And then this one I like because you can have it go and make sure that it's all straight and everything, because there's an end to it. Okay, and then we're just going to put these here. I'm going to do the same exact thing here. So, and I'll do it from this side, it might be easier. So 1 1/4 or 1 1/8, we're going to score it or draw on it. So you can do like a pencil here. If you had a pencil, you could just draw it down here. Especially if you have a mechanical pencil, you can make it a little bit longer. So we did that, and then we're going to go point to point. So we're going to make an X by scoring it. It's very, you want to get it just right. So I moved it, and then I'm pressing on it. And then we're going to do this way. So it is, you know, there's a lot of steps to this, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so now we're going to actually cut it. So I'm going to cut it down this way. I think I cut it differently before. So just cut it however you want. Just use those score lines as a guide. use this one over here on this side, and then we're just going to glue everything down. I mean, once you have this figured out, you're pretty well set. I keep moving it with my hand. So you need a little patience. Don't get frustrated. It's a little bit. Oh no. That's on the back side, so that's okay. Good thing we have the back side going there. And then this goes up here. Is that right? And then we'll do this. So I don't know if you can see the score lines, but they're very easy for me to see. So when you're doing this, just don't move it when you close it. That's what I keep doing. Okay. And one more. And then we could start putting it together. And I don't know if I got them out of order, but this will go here. I think this one goes up here. Okay, it's like a puzzle. But again, I don't think it matters if it's exactly right. Nobody's going to see that. Okay, so now what we want to do is just glue all our pieces down. Excuse me. And I think I will fast forward for this. I'll do one or two, and then I'll just fast forward it so it's easy to follow and you don't have to spend your time watching me glue. So I'm just using liquid glue. I find that to be the best for doing pieces that you really want to get in place, because it does give you a couple of seconds to really get it where you want it. So try to press it down, you know, so it's flat while you're doing this, and try to just have a border around the whole thing, like from the score line and then from the edge. So we're just going to go like this and just put all these pieces down. So I will speed it up now. Okay, I'm leaving this like this because I want you to see an alternative, and we'll put it back on before we're done here. So this is what this looks like, and then we're going to have this on the front. Okay, and then we'll put a sentiment. But when you open it up, you could have it like this or like this. I saw some people left this. Some people did these two one color and left these blank, or reverse, or, you know, mixed it all up. So, you know, whatever you like. This you don't really see when it's standing up. Like, you're not seeing that. I don't know if you could see. So that panel is not necessary if you don't want to do it. I'm going to do it because I want to, but I just wanted to give you that as an alternative. So we'll just put this last panel down, and then we're going to put this down after. So let's just get this one down. So it is easy, you know, it just takes a little bit of time to get everything lined up. Oops, I keep doing this wrong. It's funny. Okay, and so let's put this down, and then we'll stamp a sentiment and do something on the back. This would be pretty on here. So we just want this. It's probably easier to open it up and make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, And then we're going to do, this is from the stamp set, Simply Zinnia. We're going to do thank you so much, and I want to stamp that in, I don't have the pad, one sec. Okay, so we're going to stamp the thank you very much sentiment in Blackberry Bliss. Thank you so much. I just want to test it first. I feel like I had a problem with this. I want to make sure it's straight. I think it needs to go up a little bit. There you go. All right, so I'm going to just go up a little bit that way. Thank you so much. And we'll put that on with some dimensionals. I have some dimensionals. Here we go. I'll just put, maybe just 3 will do it. And then we'll have to put some kind of bling on. I kind of like the butterflies. I'm into the butterflies lately. So we'll just put this, thank you so much. Okay, so I have these butterflies on this. I think I'm going to do the same thing. Where did I put them? So these are the brush brass butterflies, and you get 2 sizes, and I just think they're so pretty, and they're flat, so you can put them on the inside of a card as well. I'm just going to do little ones, I think. So we'll put one here and one right here, sitting on that flower. Okay, and then on the back, I thought we would stamp part of this. So let me get a piece of scrap, and I just want to, and I think I'm just going to do it in the Blackberry Bliss. Very simple. I'm not going to have any sentiment. I'm just going to just have part of those flowers, because I think this is a really pretty kind of bouquet of flowers. So just like this. Isn't that pretty? And you can color it in. You can do it in black memento and color it with blends or whatever you want. So we're going to just put that on the back, and let me get my stamp and seal. And just lay this on the back, and you can put a little message in there. And you don't have to put anything on the back if you don't want to. Okay. So there you have it. 2 cards. I think they're very pretty, and I think they're nice that they stand up. Lately I've been making cards that stand up, so you can have your friends have a whole pile of cards standing around. So thanks for joining, and next week on my calendar we have Peekaboo Fun Fold cards. So those are easy. So come back and watch next week, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.